Well, Shadow Ops, what's up? How you doing, man? Crappity crap, crappin' crap. Yeah, we got. How's your weather, buddy? How you doing? You all snowed in? Mike, what's up? How you doing, man? You must be. You got to be freezing. Holy crap. Yeah, it's crazy here. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm in Florida. Hey, what's up, David? Hello, Crystal. Good to see you guys. How's the weather? You freezing? You guys cold? Should move to Florida. Just saying. Y'all should move to Florida. Although the weather's not great today. We're going to talk about that, but yeah. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. I don't know how long we're going to stay out here because it's cold. It's real cold. So, quick update on the weather, and I'll fill you in as we go. Let's see what the temperature currently is in the garage here. It's 46 degrees in the garage. We have Category 1 hurricane winds right now. We don't have a hurricane, but we have Category 1 hurricane winds right now. So 40 mile an hour winds, just crazy right now. Now I live just south of Hernando County, and I mean literally, because I live almost on County Line Road, so I'm not a mile from County Line Road. I'm less than a mile from County Line Road, and that's Hernando County. And they're getting snowflakes in Hernando County. We're not getting any here yet, but in just a mile north of me is Hernando County, and they're getting snowflakes. Tampa's getting snowflakes. So yeah, isn't that crazy? Jennifer Laura Alabella, what's up? How you doing, man? Hey, Juno, what's going on? Good to see you. Who else just popped in? Anybody else? No, I think I got everybody. So yeah. So how you doing, Jeff? You guys got snow up there? You probably did, didn't you? You had flurries this morning? Yep. Yeah, I figured. Yep. I stole your snow? Well, I'm happy to have done that then. So you don't have any snow, Shadow? So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's been cold as crap the last couple days. It was 29 degrees yesterday morning. It was 31 the morning before that. This morning was actually warm, if you want to call it that. I think it was 46 this morning, and it's 46 now. It did go up to about, it didn't hit 60, I don't think, today. I think it went up to about 50, maybe 57 or something. But the winds picked up, and they said that the field like temperature, because of the wind chill, was like 9 degrees. And I'm like, yeah, and they're about right. It was cold today as far as being outside in the wind. I don't know if you're gonna hear. You'll probably hear some wind in the background during the show. So yeah. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about the weather. Did anybody see? Did Horizon come out with a new airplane today by any chance? Anybody see that? I didn't check. I've been watching. Eric, what's up, EQ? Good to see you, buddy. I've been watching the YouTube all day trying to find somebody that came out with a new airplane. I didn't see any new releases on YouTube. So I don't know. 19's your low tonight? Yeah, we won't get anywhere near that. Oh yeah, we don't have any humidity right now. Christ, I got a humidity thing here right now. Our humidity right now is 38. Yeah, we don't have any humidity right now, man. Yeah, 38's pretty damn low humidity, so yeah, that's not a problem right now. It's just the cold, the wind and the cold. I don't know if you can see my breath in here. Yeah. So I've got my electric fireplace over here, but it really isn't doing the job. It's more beautiful than functional. It has heat, but the fan speed, I guess I don't have control of the fan speed. And it just doesn't blow hard enough. You know, if you're right up against it, you can feel the warmth coming out of it, but it doesn't like go out into the room. You know, but it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful fireplace I bought, but it won't really do it. So if it'd be perfect for a room that's already heated, to add a little more heat to the room. You know, but you know when we're working in a 46-degree garage, it's pointless. It doesn't do anything. So. You wish Horizon would come out with a new timber. Me too, Mike. I really do. Gosh, I wish they'd got it. We need another timber, for Christ's sake. What is Horizon doing, for crying out loud? They're really dropping the ball. We really need another timber, for Christ's sake. What the hell are they thinking? Yeah. So, all right, how do I fix? I think that okay, that fixed it. Okay, good. All right, so for you guys that weren't here, I think I did this last week. Raptor Cam's back, so we can do an overhead shot here. I'll show you that. So here's Raptor Cam. Some of you guys will remember that from back in the day. So we have Raptor Cam back. We've got 3D printing. We've got good camera on the front. I guess the audio's good tonight. It's not a Godzilla movie. My mouth's matching the audio, I guess. Send the request through. Okay. All right. You have my phone number. Just, text me, what you want to do, and we'll see what we can make happen. I don't know that it's going to work. I've pretty much given up on PayPal. I have other means of sending you money, so we might have to sign you up for one of the other ones, because PayPal, I don't know why they did this. I have no idea. All my stuff was on auto pay, and it was all auto paid, all of it. So I paid all my bills, and then for some reason, the last the 4-in-1 payment deal, the last 4 payments weren't much. It was like $20 and $35 and $18 kind of deal. They were all returned or denied after they were paid. Then they were recalled back for some reason. And they never bothered to tell me. They just did me a courtesy and just wrote them off. But now they're penalizing me for writing them off, and I can't use my PayPal for anything. They don't offer me the 4-in-1s anymore. I tried to buy the motorcycle using the fund transfer, and they wouldn't allow it. They told me that they'd be fixed in 72 hours, or no, it was only 48 hours, and it wasn't. And so I don't know what the hell they did. I don't know what I can get out of PayPal anymore. So I have many other forms to use now, because there's a lot of new companies out there. So Eric, if I'll try the PayPal thing for you. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we'll find another way. All right, just we'll make it work. I know you're good for it. You can just send me a check. That's not going to stop us from getting you the airplane. So whatever we have to do. But yeah, PayPal's kind of on my shit list at the moment, just because of the way they're treating me for what they did. Nobody called me or wrote me or anything and said, hey, these last charges were reversed. Nothing. They just took it upon themselves to do me a favor and just write them off, because I've been with them for 23 years. And but now they're penalizing me for writing them off. Well, then that wasn't very helpful, was it? I would have rather you just told me to call me and told me to pay it than to write it off. because now you guys have ruined my ability to use you. So I'm not using you. I'm using everybody else now. So good luck finding how to contact. Oh, I've got PayPal's phone number, buddy. I don't have any problem getting a hold of PayPal. That's not a problem at all. I call them on a regular basis when I have problems. I got their number in my phone. If you want it, I'll give it to you. You know, but yeah, they're just I don't understand what the hell, and they couldn't answer my question. I was on the phone for over an hour when I was trying to buy the motorcycle at the guy's house, and nobody could give me an answer why they did this and why they're blocking my fund transfer. Nobody could give me an answer. I talked to 3 different departments, and nobody could give me an answer. So, Philip, what's up? How you doing, buddy? So anyway, so that's my PayPal story. We'll see where it goes, but not to worry, Eric. We'll get you hooked up. Don't worry. I'm going to do some 3D printing tonight while we're playing out here. So you guys know I bought a new G8, and this is a version of it, and it's a pretty good one actually. So I'm going to show you a couple of inconsistencies in when you print. And so this is printed in PET G, which is a very durable, UV protected. This can sit out in the sun at a car show and it won't hurt it. Whereas if you printed it in PLA, like this one for instance, not protected. So this one here would the sun would eventually erode this. It's not UV safe, but this is. Now both of them are going to get painted. So. And the way I'm going to paint this is the exact same. Let me show you what I did. So this is made out of the same material as the car. Okay. So you can see how dark red that, or how dark blue that is compared to this. And what it is there's it's a spray paint that's like candy apple clear. It's candy apple blue, metallic paint, and so this is still clear. You can still see through the paint and through the plastic all of the infill in it, which is what I wanted. I did that on purpose on this, but on this I really don't care if you can see the infill. But this is very close to the color of my car. Very close. This might be a hair, just a shade darker than the car, which this was 2 or 3 coats of paint. If I only put 1 coat of paint on it, this will be lighter, but it'll be darker than this, but it'll be lighter than this. So, that was the original thought was what I was going to do. Well, that went out the window because there's too much body work to do to this one, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if you look on the top, this was printed this way, laying flat. Hang on a minute. Let me play with my magic table here. You know, I've got this cool magic table. This is pretty cool. For you guys that missed this last week, these tables are on sale at Amazon. $92. It's a 4x8 table, 4 foot by 2. I'm sorry, 4 foot by 2 foot, 2 by 4, 2 foot by 4 foot table. I'll show you how. It's. I guess it's made out of particle board. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's beautiful. And here's the. You'll be able to see the thickness of the wood here. Yeah. So that's how thick it is. It's about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch, I'm guessing. It feels very solid. It's all sealed up, but it doesn't have. This is either Formica or something similar. It's not just. So it's water. It's waterproof. You can. Now I don't know that the edge. That's well, yeah. I guess that was seemed like so. It should be waterproof. I mean, you're not going to get any bubbling or like on some of the painted like this. This is all particle board also. but it only has a covering on it. And if you get that wet, it'll all bubble up and shit. This won't. This is you know, like Formica, so you can spill drinks on it or whatever. It ain't gonna hurt it. But yeah, it's really cool. So $92, guys, for a motorized, and it goes from 28. I think it's 28.3 to 46.5. So it'll go. I can do the show from under the table. We'll let it go all the way up. I'll be able to see the screen from under the table. Not freezing my ass off yet, Mike, but it's damn cold. Yeah, it's really, really cold. So that's at 46.5. So if you're standing at it, it's, you know, so you can adjust the height. There's 3 presets. This is maximum up. This is halfway. I put it, and you can set them wherever you want them. Linda made oatmeal raisin cookies. Oh man, send them over. I love oatmeal raisin cookies. So this is halfway, which is 36.4. Okay, and then I can manually adjust it up and down from here. There's arrows here, so I can put it at whatever height I want. But you can take it to the presets to get, you know, close to where you want it, and then I fine tune it from there. Yeah, these tables were like $350 when they came out, and now they're down to like $92. So I had to buy it. I was really looking forward to buying it. All right, so getting back to what I wanted to show you. So this was printed in this position, and this was printed in this position. Okay, why did I do that? Okay, well, first of all, I can get the maximum size of this, which is this. This is 300. Okay. Now this was too wide to put it. If I'd have printed it flat, it would have been smaller. Well, it would have been 300. But diagonaling it like I did this one, because this car's much narrower than this one, I was able to go to 340 on this one and leave it flat on the table, diagonal, and it fit. This one, when I go to 340, is too wide, and I couldn't go to 340. I might have been able to go a little higher than 3, but the real reason I printed this one standing like this is because of this. You see what the roof looks like? You see that circle, that circular pattern on the roof, and you have remnants of it on the hood too. There's like arcs, and all that has to be sanded and filled, you know, to smooth it out. And you don't have that when you do it standing up. You have it on the front bumper. So if you look closely on the front bumper here, you'll see a remnant of that circle right in the middle of the bumper, right below the grill. So it's much easier to sand this out to correct this. But I could only go 300. This is 340. So you can see how much bigger this is. Okay, by putting this on the build plate diagonally, and so that's what I did. So we're going to have to do a lot of body work here. Sand this. I already sanded a lot of this, but it's on the trunk lid too. If you look closely, you'll see the upside down arcs on the trunk lid. So it's all a big circular thing, and so it's kind of a pain when you do that. That's why I printed this one standing up, because now this does leave a mess on the tail, you know, the back bumper that you have to fix too. So you got to fix the front bumper and the back bumper. You can see those swirls again, the circling pattern. But this came out pretty good actually. It's smoothed out pretty well. This is going to cover up pretty easy, and that's going to look pretty good. What I do like about this model, it's like this model, the wheels are removable. They print separately. and there's an axle coming out of the print, and you can adjust the wheel in and out. And I can literally print this wheel bigger to put on this car if I don't want to use the factory wheel. And they're pretty similar. So this is the wheel here, and we're gonna print another one of these tonight live on the show here, because here's the brake caliper. See, as I weeded this out, it came apart, and I'm like, well, why the hell is it coming apart? Because I'm not cutting the area that was printed. I don't understand why it came apart. And that was printed with the axle up, in this position. Okay, and now I'm going to print it this way with the axle down, and we're going to try that and see if that'll stop putting the all the support in the spokes that I have to weed out. It's a pain in the ass. So we're going to try to print it the other way and see how that works out. Yeah, I have talked to the RC Informer recently, Eric. I talked to him just before I went to see my brother in Indiana. So that was the week of December 21st. Yeah, so I think it was December 21st. We were talking about, because I was going to go over to his field and help him put the new Geotech runway in. But he contacted me and told me that the guys were running late. They were supposed to do it Saturday, and now he was moving it to Sunday. Well, I was going to be in Indiana on Sunday, so I told him, I said, yeah, man, I can't make it Sunday. I'm on my way to my brother's. I already put it off a week. I was going to go the week before to my brother's, but I postponed it so I could help Rich with the field, and then his guys didn't get it done in time. So I'm not really sure where we are at the field. I haven't talked to him since I've been back, so I'm not sure what's going on. But I know he's spending all of his free time when he's not flying, working on his property, working on his basically this is his dream, to have a property that he can fly off of, that he's planning on building a house there and living there and being able to go out his front door and go flying. And he already put this beautiful building up for everybody to congregate inside, to get out of the sun, get out of the rain. I'm not sure if he's going to air condition it or not, or leave it open air, but either way, it'll be out of the sun and the rain. And I think you're going to there'll be room in there for some people to pit in there, and it's a good size, but it's not big enough for, if you have a big crowd, not everybody's going to be able to be in the building. But he's got power there and everything, power and water, and he's got I think it's about a 800-foot, 50-foot wide, 800-foot long trough for water landings, for flying any kind of a float plane in and out. It's right next to the main runway, so that's really cool. So yeah, he's really put a lot of work into this, and like I said, it's just been his dream. Craig, what's up? How you doing, man? Oh, who is this? Charles McDaniel? Is that what I got? Welcome to the show. Good to see you. So yeah, it's so that's what he's been up to. He's just dedicating all of his time to getting his property set up. So I suspect by summer he's going to have a fully operational. His house won't be built yet. That's not a priority right now. The house is not. He don't care about that. He's got a nice house to live in. He wants to get it set up so that we can all go there and fly together. That's his objective. So, and it's coming along real good. It looks good. So anyway, let's see what else. Don't have a lot of news in the RC world, to be honest. I've been looking around, and other than the sales we had at Christmas time, nobody's really doing nothing right now. I don't see anything new, any new stuff coming out. Yeah, it's everything's kind of slow right now. Everybody's kind of like burnt out or taking a break, or I don't know. It's kind of slow right now. So, but yeah, so So anyway, so what I'm going to have to do with this, you can see there's no wheels on it. So we're going to do some printing live. I'm going to do some printing. We're going to test some wheels. Like I said, with the wheel that comes with it, I'm going to print in this position and see how that works out. And then I'm going to print the wheel for this one, this size. I'm just going to scale it up this size, and then I'm going to try that wheel on it. And we're just going to play around with it and see if we can come up with something that might work. I think the machine's going to print okay in this cold. It's an enclosed machine, so it should retain most of its heat. So I think it'll be all right. And that's what I love about printing these cars with the wheels separate like this, because I can mix and match wheels. I can change the wheels that are on this. All I got to do is go out and find another car that has separate wheels, and then just scale the wheel up till it fits, this size, and put them on. So it's really cool to be able to do that, be able to change the wheels to something you like. So then, see, these were not printed that way. These are part of the car. You can't take these wheels off. So they're just on there. They're not. There's no axles either. It's just literally the back side of the tire here is mounted to the fender and the bumper. The printer actually printed the wheel. You can break it loose. I mean, if you want to break it loose, you can get it out of there. But then how are you going to put it on? I mean, you'd have to drill a hole through it. You'd have to drill a hole through the wheel, a hole through the car, to put and then put an axle in there. It'd be a lot of work just to make it so it could roll. And it wouldn't roll well, that would roll. These don't roll even though they're axles. You can't. It ain't going to roll. I mean, you could put a bearing in it and make it roll, but if you want to put all that extra work into it, but that's not what I was after. Now, see, right now is you can see the infill on this one. You see all that diamond looking? So that's the cubic infill. Now it's not on the car. This car is smooth, but this filament's transparent. So. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to use up this crappy bamboo filament, and it's PETG, so it's stronger and it's UV protected and all that. So it's the perfect thing to since I'm going to paint it anyway. But yeah, you can see right through the car, the infill, and that's what I did this on purpose on this one because I wanted you to see the infill. I used a totally different kind of infill in here. It's a very, very tight. Grid-like infill, so it looks like, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I'm going to put it up here. Let's get it a little closer to the camera and see if I can get it where you can see it's like a diamond hatch. If I can get it in the right position, you'll be able to see it. Let me do this. Yeah, right there. So the upper right square, you can kind of see the pattern in it. So it's smooth on the outside. But you can see through it because it's transparent. And the paint I'm using is to put that darker blue metallic look to it is also transparent. So that's why you can still see through it. And that was deliberate. I did that on purpose. Now the one that's still on the shelf right above my head is about this color, but that's a different filament, and there's no paint on that one. That's the color it come out. It's the filament I used on that. It's very dark. But this one I painted. So it's the exact same filament as this, and I painted it. So, but I'm probably going to just have to prime this to get the bodywork smooth, and then start over, paint it. Probably some kind of blue, and then put the blue cast over it to get this effect, this metallic-y, shiny candy color effect, which is what that's what color the car is. So anyway, all right. So what do you guys want to talk about? You guys got anything new and exciting you want to share? What's going on? Did your taxes? Oh, did you? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm apparently getting I'm probably not going to have to pay any taxes this year. You know, since we got that extra $6,000 if you're over 65. So I should, yeah, between my regular deductions and then the added deductions, I should get. I don't think I'm going to have to pay any taxes this year, or very little. So that'll be good. My health insurance went way the hell up, so I'm going to have to cancel it because I can't afford it. Well, I say that. It went from zero, I didn't pay anything, to $150 a month. And then I have co-pays anywhere I go other than to the doctor. And I still don't have to pay anything on my meds, but the $150 a month is killing me. So, how the hell did I get what? Are you talking to me or somebody else? I'm reading back to see what. You. Okay, so how did I get what? The G8 or what? I'm gotta be a little more specific, Craig. I don't know what you're referring to. Mike Bird, what's up? How you doing, man? Good to see you. How many we got in here now? God, I hate this new setup that they did for the studio. It's a pain in the ass. It's a royal pain in the ass. I can't see my screen anymore. Oh, there's only 8 in here. Okay. Oh, my health insurance at no cost? Well, because it's the Affordable Health Care Act. I'm not working. I have no income. I'm not collecting Social Security. I have zero income. Okay, the only income I've been declaring is renting a room to my ex-wife. So that puts me in a tax bracket so low that I was getting free health care. It started, I've been on this for quite a while now, like 5 or 7 years. It started out at about, I think it was around $27 a month. And then it went up to $37 a month. And then it went up to $42 a month. And then it went to free. It went back down to $0 a month. I don't know what's changing, you know, whatever. And now I'm back to $150 a month, which is not going to work for me. I don't think I'm gonna do some checking Monday. I'm gonna call my doctor and see, hey, how much would you charge me? Customer pay, no insurance. Just I'm gonna walk in, and I'm gonna just pay you. How much you gonna charge me for an office visit? And see what they can do for me. Because I'm only going to go to him like 3 times a year. So even if he charges me $150, I'm only going to pay that 3 times, not every month. And then my medication with RX, what is it? Good RX and the other one, I can get my meds pretty damn cheap. So that'll be cheaper also than paying $150 a month to get free meds. I only have 4 pills I take. So, if I have to pay, $10 a pill for 90 days, that's still way cheaper than paying $150 a month. So I'm going to weigh it all out and see what it comes out to. But I think I'm going to have to kill my health care until my Social Security kicks in, and then I'm going to have to go on Medicare. So we've got to weigh it all out. I got to see what the hell I can do, but I'm not happy about that. You have Part A and B with Social Security. Yeah. What are you paying, Craig? How much are they billing you? No, I'm not on Medicare yet, Mike. That's the problem. I don't have to be because I have health care. You only have to get on Medicare if you don't have health care and you're over 65. As long as you still have health care. Because Deb's not on it either. She's still working. And and she's got great insurance through her company, so she doesn't have to get on Medicare either. So she hasn't gotten on yet. She's gonna now because she's retiring next month. So, well, this month. Well, today. What's today? Yeah, no, yeah, Monday. It's next month. Yeah, she's retiring next month. So she'll have to get on health care. 175 a month out of your check, right? That's what I thought. I knew it was. I knew it'd gone up to something like that. So, yeah. So then, but at least if I've got my Social Security coming in, I could pay the 150 or the 175. You know, that would be okay. But right now, I have no income, and she's leaving, so I'm not going to have her rent for the room either. And but that's okay because I'd declare it anyway, just so I can keep my health care. Because if I don't make at least, I think it's 15,750 a year, I have to make that much money, or I don't qualify for the Affordable Health Care Act. So I have to declare that much anyway, whether or not. But if I'm not going to keep it anymore, then I don't have to declare it anymore. You haven't had a doctor since you were a kid. How old are you now, Philip? So you're 60. Yeah, so when my prostate problem showed up is when I had to get on some kind of medical care because I needed prescription medicine. Um, Up until then, so that's about 10 years. So right around 55, I think, is when I had to start going to the doctor, and just to take care of my prostate problem and blood pressure. But I think I can control the blood pressure. Um, um, I'm probably going to lose a lot more weight coming up now because I'm not going to be able to eat very well. I'm going to be relegated to peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and Roman noodles. So with no money coming in, I'm going to have to stretch it until my either my disability gets approved, or next year, like February next year, I can apply for because I'll be at my retirement age, 67 next year. Um, so and so one way or the other, I will start being on Medicare next year. So I just got to get through one more year, one more year, and then I'm good. So I got to figure out how to get through this next year, and then I'll be good after that. I could sell some cars. Well, that's going to happen anyway, Philip. I'm not keeping all these cars. that was always the plan. There's several cars I'm selling. So yeah, that's a given. And yeah, that money will be very helpful for sure. That's why I bought them. I bought them to flip them. So I'm not going to lose money on any of them. So I bought everything super right. So yeah, no more planes for a while. Yeah, that's we'll see. But yeah, unless it's something I gotta have or something that I want, but I'll wait for it to go on sale. Like I did with the PBY. It came out and I wanted it right away, but I didn't buy it. I waited for it and it went on sale really early. I wasn't expecting to get one this quick. I figured it'd be another year before I saw that go on sale, but it went on sale, so I bought it. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna have to cut back on the extra spending for a little while, at least a year, and then from there we'll see what happens. At 67, my earnings limit fell off. Lose the payback. What do you mean, Craig? What do you mean at 66? When did you retire? At 65, 67? When did you retire? Yeah, actually, I don't know where you got that information on the ACA, but my coverage was fantastic. You know, it was. Now, no, but it was fantastic. You know, they've paid for everything. You know, I've had surgeries. I mean, they've taken care of everything. I haven't had to pay for any of my prescription medicine. I haven't had to pay for a doctor visit. Went to specialists. Didn't have a copay. You know, and all that started this year, and without me even knowing. You know, they didn't notify me that my plan was changing or anything. And you know, and I don't even open my bill from Ambetter. I just throw it in the trash can because it's zero. You know, it's always zero. Well, I opened one finally, and I'm like, holy shit, I owe them $150 some. So, yeah, that's how I found out. So I called them to find out what the hell was going on. And they also kicked my doctor off the plan. It's the second time they've done that. So I have to go find another new doctor, or I'm going to call my doctor Monday and see what he would charge me for just walk-in customer pay. And I might just stay with him and cancel the insurance and just stay with him. So that's what I got to work out. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Yeah, I'm probably gonna work till I die. I mean, I'm working here at the house on people's cars for money. I've already been invited back to Disney to drive the bus, and if I'm gonna go back to work, that's where I'm gonna go because that's gonna pay very well. It's kind of a pain in the ass to drive 2 hours there and 2 hours back. But they'll start me at $27 an hour. I only have to be on the bus 3 hours, and then they're going to break me off the bus, take a break, and then I'll probably sit in the break room for another hour before they can get me back on a bus. And it's a very relaxed, super fun job, and it pays really well. And free health care. You know, Disney pays for your health care. They don't take anything out of your check. They just take care of it. They have their own doctors on property. You know, their own hospital and care center, and you just, you know, go over there and, you know, just drive up to the hospital or the, you know, clinic, and it's all on property. It's all free, so I don't have to pay for any health care. What costume do I wear? A bus uniform. As a bus driver. That's the whole bus driver joke. But you're correct. It is a costume. It's not a uniform. It's a costume. Everything at Disney is done with theater terms. Okay, you're not out working. You're on stage. If you're not working, you're backstage. You know, you wear a costume, not a uniform. The lingo is all based on theatrics. You know, theater. So everything has got theater names. So yeah. So, but yeah, I drove a bus for him for 2.5 years, like I said, because of the money, because I can't go anywhere else and make the kind of money I can make there. So I might go back to driving a bus. Once I reach my retirement age, I can make as much money as I want, so I don't have to be limited on only working part-time. So once I hit 67, I can go back to full-time at Disney. So I can bid see if you work part-time, you only work 3 days. And then you work the same 3 days. You work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because nobody wants to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you work Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at Magic Kingdom till 4 in the morning. That's your shift. You start at 8, I think. 7 or 6 or 8, something like that, and work till 4 in the morning. And then you have to drive home from there, which is a real pain in the ass. Yeah, so like I said, if I do go back to work, I'm going to try not to, but if I have to go back to work, I'm going to go make some real money. So I'll go back to work at Disney after I turn 65, or 67, I mean. Yeah, you drive people from the parks to the resorts. We never leave Disney property, okay? And that's something that Walt worked out when he set this whole thing up back in the day. He told the state of Florida, listen, my vehicles are never going to leave the property, my property. But I will pay you state tax to put license plates on every one of my vehicles if you'll agree to pave all the roads that we end up needing as we grow. And the state said, okay, we'll do that. So that was the deal. So anytime that Disney expands and we need new roadways, the state pays for the roadways. And he's got there's well over 500 vehicles on Disney property, and he pays for license plates on every one of them. So is that a good deal for him? Yeah, probably. I think putting a road in costs way more than paying for license plates. But I don't know. That's the deal he worked out. But we're not, and sometimes you miss your exit and you're going off property. So you have to call in because they see you. As soon as you go off property, your little green dot on the screen that shows where you are turns red. So right away they know, okay, we got somebody going off property, right? And they expect you to hear from you. You're supposed to call in immediately and say, yeah, this is 238, and I'm kind of leaving the property. And then they ask you, do you know how to recover? Yes, I know my recovery route. Okay, all right. Well, call us when you get back on property, and then and they know they're watching you, so on the screen. And then I get back on. Yeah, okay, this is 2:38. I'm back on property. It happens. It happens. It didn't happen a lot. I think I did it like once a year, but you get distracted. Usually, a guest on the bus comes up and says, hey, how do I get here or there? And you start talking to them, and then you go right by your, oh, crap, that was my exit. And then you have to, call in and say, yeah. So. Yep, same thing here, Juno. When I built this building, I had to give them 20% of what I took out to pay for the building. But at the time I was working, and I got it all back, because I didn't make enough money. So I got all that money back. But I did have to, when I took the money out, they took 20%, and it held it, as pay taxes on that money. I drove the 40-footers at Disney. They have the 80-footer articulating, and I never drove one of those. I didn't really want to drive one of those. And at that time, you didn't have to drive one if you didn't want to. But then the drivers of the 80-footers said, hey, we want more money because we're driving the bigger bus. And, it was special training, which it really isn't. And they said, okay, well, we're not going to pay you more money. We're just going to make everybody certified for the 80-footer bus, and so you'll all be on the same page. And so they started training anybody that didn't have the training on the 80-footer got trained. And I was just about to come up for training when I left Disney. So I never got that training. So if I go back, they'll have to give me the 80-foot training, which is basically a day. You just drive around with an instructor for a day, and he's going to point out a couple of maybe how to take a corner a little differently to accommodate the bike, because the bus bends in the middle. And so that'll be a simple one-day thing, and then I'll be certified to drive the big bus. But I probably wouldn't take a route. See, I take the routes nobody wants, because I get on the bus sooner. You might think, depending on where you are, sometimes we have to sit out in the hot sun waiting for a bus. Like Animal Kingdom, we don't have an air-conditioned break room to sit in. The only thing that's air-conditioned is the bathrooms that we have there. We have to sit in a tiki hut. So we're in shade, but it's open air. We don't have any air conditioning there. And at Magic Kingdom, before, I guess they have a new break room now, but before, we didn't even have that. There was just a little hut that the dispatcher sat in, and we had to stand outside the hut. Now, we were under trees, so we had some coverage, but if it's raining, you're standing out in the rain until it rains hard enough that they'll actually bring a bus around and park it right there, and then we all go on the bus to get out of the rain. So that was a pain in the ass. So I immediately, when they wanted somebody to run the employee bus. I'll take it. Just get me on a bus. I want to be on my air-conditioned, my own office air-conditioned bus as quickly as I can get on it. So I'll take it. So anytime they had a back route going to the Woodlands, there's to go back to, if you want to do the horse rides and stuff, you can, there's a bus route that takes that. So if they needed that one, I took it. Or if they needed the back lot one, which is, it comes into the back of the castle, and it goes to the employee lot that's down the road about 3 miles, and we just shuttle, employees only. There's no guests on the bus, just employees. And when that one came up, I'll take it. Same thing at Epcot. Epcot had a back one too, that's just for employees. And they'd come out and they say, "Well, I need somebody to take the employee." I'll take it. Just get me on a bus. So yeah. So I always, and they never use the articulating buses for those. So I would never be on an articulating bus because I would. It's a great place to work, Philip. A lot of people have bitched about working for Disney. I had nothing but a great experience at Disney. I had one manager that was an asshole, but it's just like the military. You only have that asshole for your stint, which is only 6 months at Disney. And then I'm going to bid out of that position, go somewhere else, so I don't have to deal with that asshole. So, and it's not very many assholes there, but there's a couple. And so when I first started working there, I had this asshole boss, and then after my first bid, I bid out of it. I was working at Epcot, and I loved working at Epcot, but I didn't like my boss, so I bid out of there and went to Studios, and I did that for 2 stints, and then I came back to Epcot because that boss had moved on to somewhere else. So because I liked Epcot, I like Studios and Epcot the best. Those were my favorites, and those aren't most people's favorites, but I particularly like those. So no, I just wear a bus costume. It kind of looks military or I don't know, like police, military combo kind of. It's not a, so it, I mean, we would call it a uniform if you weren't working at Disney, but at Disney they call it a costume. And so I got pulled over by a cop one night coming home from work, and as soon as he got to my window, he just started apologizing. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to pull you over. You're good to go. Don't worry about." And I'm like, "Do you need my license?" No, we're good. I don't know if he thought I was a sergeant or I don't know what he thought, but it was like I had the plague. He couldn't get away from my car fast enough. After he pulled me over, I rolled the window down, and he's like, of course the car was an ex-police car, and it had the police car light that I had turned on. So between that and the uniform, he couldn't get away from me fast enough. He thought he pulled over a sergeant or something, I guess, and he couldn't get away from me. "Nope, you're good. Have a great night." And he's like running for his car. "Okay, thank you." So yeah, that was funny that night, and it was such a stupid pullover. I pulled out of a gas station that's on the corner of the road, okay, literally, and I pulled out the side without my headlights on, pulled up to the red light, sitting at the red light, and I turned my headlights on. So literally I only drove like 40 feet without my headlights on the road. 40 feet. And he's pulling me over for that. And so he so anyway, I guess the costumes, like Goofy and Donald Duck and stuff, they're only on stage for like 45 minutes, and then another one comes and replaces them because the uniforms are hot. So you have to go in and take like a 45 minutes to an hour rest and hydrate, so that you don't pass out in the costume. So you're not on stage very long. You get because you have to wear this costume, and you have a handler with you that's once you're out on stage, they're close by. They're watching you to make sure you're okay. But they're not like arm in arm with you until you're going off stage. Then they come along with you to make sure you're good and get into the air conditioning, get the uniform off or the costume off, get you some water. So I highly recommend it. If you want to come to Florida and work at Disney, go for it. I can tell you, other than the cast, the on-stage performers, the bus driving job is the highest paid job there. The only people that make more money are performers. People that are on stage singing, dancing, whatever, make more money. But as far as just menial labor, the highest paid job there is the bus driver job. So that's why I took it. You know, when I went there and I applied, I just looked for the highest paid job and said, I'll take that. So the Pillsbury Doughboy that she did, is that your wife? She promotion that she did, is that your wife that had you dressed up as the Pillsbury Doughboy? Yeah, it's a pretty easy place to work, especially you have no supervisor watching you. When you're on a bus, that's your office. Nobody's bothering you. You barely even get called on the radio. Yeah, I would make a great Cinderella. No, I don't think so. I'm way too fat to be Cinderella. Um, you get all your assignments come over a box on the dash where you're going next. And the way it works is if I'm coming from Animal Kingdom and I'm going to the Dolphin Resort, okay? So I'm bringing guests that were at Animal Kingdom and they're staying at the Dolphin. So that's where I'm going. I'm just going straight to the Dolphin. And as I pull into the Dolphin, my box comes up with where I'm going next automatically. And it tells me I'm going to Magic Kingdom. Okay, so I pull into the Magic Kingdom bus stop, and the people that are standing in that bus stop are going to Magic Kingdom. So I pull into that stop, my guests get off, everybody gets on my bus, and my marquee changes automatically as well. And then they get on my bus, and I take them to Magic Kingdom. And then as I'm pulling to Magic Kingdom, it tells me I'm going to Pop Century, and so I pull into the Pop Century bus stop. Same thing, they get off. Pop Century people get. So I had a couple one time get on my bus and they forgot something at their hotel room, and I got to the park and they said and I said you're not getting off, and they said no, we have to go back to our hotel. I said, well, I'm not going back to your hotel. What? I said, yeah, no, I get a new assignment. We get new assignments every time. We're never going back to the same place. So you need to get off and go to Pop Century, wherever you're going back to, and get on that bus because I'm not going back there. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So it's a great job. It's a fun place to work. A lot of perks. You get free admission as often as you want. You and your spouse, and then you get 4 extra passes that you can use 6 times a year, so you can take friends and with you. But you and your significant other, no, we're not allowed to take tips. Now, on occasion. Usually, I love taking care of the handicapped people. When they come on with a wheelchair or something, man, I love doing that job because I'm good at it. And, locking the wheelchair down, is a procedure, and I was very good at it. And I enjoyed that. And it's usually, those are the people that usually want to tip you. And what they usually do, they know they're not allowed to tip us. So the guy will shove money in my pocket. And he says, hey, you dropped this. And he shoves it in my pocket, and I'm like, oh, thank you. And, but otherwise, if somebody tries to offer me money, I say, no, I'm not allowed to take tips. Thank you. I appreciate you thinking, listen, the best thing you can do is just call him in and give me a great review. That'll make way more to my boss and my job than any tip you could give me. So just make the phone call. That would be wonderful. fill out the card. You got a card that and that's where you really make bonus points. You get a lot of hype for that. You get pulled in the office. They give you an award. They make a big deal out of it. So, they really try to take care of you there. They really do. People that didn't like their job at Disney, I don't know. I don't know what they expect. I mean, you had to work. I mean, but it's not. It isn't that hard of a job. I mean, I guess the hardest job, I would guess, if you wanted to say what's the worst job there, would be the people that work, the ticket stall. As you're walking into the park and they're checking your ticket, or you're doing this finger scan or whatever they're doing this day, your wristband, whatever, and you're helping them get, because it's not working or whatever, they're not doing it right. Well, you're going to sit out in the sun, or you actually have to stand in the sun all day. And they're not making anywhere near what the bus driver makes. So that job would suck, I guess. But why did you pick that job? You could have gone anywhere. Why did you pick that job? You got every. You when you apply for the position, you tell them what you want to do. And if it's available, you get it. And if it's not, they offer you something else. You could deny. You could take it or not. And then when your bid comes up every 6 months, you bid out of that job. You go somewhere else. You go, So I don't know. I just, I didn't find it a hard place to work at all. I really loved working there. I really did. It was a lot of fun. It was a long drive to go there and a long drive home, but I really loved the job. If I went back, I'd probably, I did find some property over that way that it was pretty cheap, and I was going to buy property and put a travel trailer on it, a camper trailer. And on the days I was working, I was going to just stay there for the night and go back the next day, because it's an hour and it would have been an hour and a half closer to Disney than the 2-hour ride from here all the way there. It's only a 30-minute ride to the property I was looking at, and yeah, you're right, Philip. Sometimes it is very hard to find a job you actually enjoy. So, but yeah, working at Disney was definitely a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed that job. I enjoyed the perks. You get to go. There's restaurants in there just for the employees that you can go, and a couple of them are really good restaurants, and you can go there anytime and go eat there. You get discounts on. We have a. I forget what they call it, but it was a cast member discount store that you could go, and the goods there were either overstock, they bought too many Frozen dolls, and so they put them in there, and you could buy them at probably 75% off, so you buy it really cheap. It's something that might be broken, slightly broken. You can $3, like a Mickey hand glove. All right, I bought one of those in there for $3, and I guess one of the fingers didn't light up or something. So I used to drive the bus wearing them because they light up at night. So you'd see, they always knew who was driving my bus. I was the only bus driver that had Mickey hands on the steering wheel. So. And swords and all kinds of whatever they sell at the regular stores, you could go there and get it cheap. So that was another perk. It just going to be able to go to the park for free is often every day if you wanted to. You can go every day. That was pretty nice. Yeah, that might be a bad job, but it's probably not a very labor-intensive job. Yeah, nobody's on your back like you're taking too long to clean that bathroom. You go in there, you clean it at your leisure. When you're done cleaning it, you're done cleaning it, and then they'll send you somewhere else. But yeah, you're never really pushed. I guess the only time you're pushed on time is when you take a break, especially if you're working the front gate, and you left take your break, they want you back on time for that. I mean, they always want you back on time, but they're really particular about that because, either the person that relieved you has to go somewhere else, or that particular booth is closed until you get back, and they want it open. They want to get the guests in as quickly as they can. So, but other than that, I get a break on my bus, and if I was breaking at the bus, the employee lounge, if you want to call it that, like at Epcot, then I'm just eating inside the lounge. I bring a lunch. There's some food machines there. You can buy food if you don't have a lunch, but you eat your lunch and you sit in the air conditioning and watch TV. And the dispatchers walk in and out. And they see you sitting there, so they know when you're time for you to come back to work. You're already there. And then and then sometimes you sit there for an hour and a half. I think the most I sat there one night for 2 hours. They couldn't put me back on a bus. They didn't have anybody that had to break off a bus. They didn't have a bus to put me on. So I just sat in the break room for 2 hours watching television. And I'm getting paid the whole time. I get paid for my breaks. So yeah, so it was so that happens sometimes too. I don't mind it if I'm sitting in an air conditioned break room, but if I'm standing out, outside at Magic Kingdom at the booth waiting for a bus, no, put me on a bus. I don't want to stand here. So that's why I would volunteer for the back lot or the woods, because I want to be on a bus. Just get me on a bus. I don't want to stand here. Just get me on a bus. And but yeah, at Studios or Epcot, I didn't mind sitting in the break room all night. That's fine. I can handle that. Animal Kingdom, there's a very different. Animal Kingdom's a whole different animal because they close very early. Okay, so your shifts are always morning shifts, and you might get a night shift there, but then all you do, there's a restaurant at Animal Kingdom that's accessible to walk-in guests. You don't have to go to the park to use that to eat at that particular restaurant. So if you happen to be staying at one of the resorts, but you don't have tickets to Animal Kingdom, you can still go to Animal Kingdom by bus from your resort, have dinner without going into the park, and then leave. And the restaurant's open till 11. So what happened to me many times is I would be on an early shift at like Epcot or something, and my shift would end, and then they would send me, but I didn't get my 8 hours for the day or whatever, and they would send me to Animal Kingdom to help take guests from the restaurant back to their resort. So you go there and you park on the island, and you just call in and say, this is bus 238. I'm on the island. And they say, okay, thanks for checking in. We'll call you. And then as buses leave the area that the bus stops are at, they'll call you and tell you to, take this spot, take that spot, whatever. And you come off the island and you go pull into where they tell you to, and then you take those guests back to their resort. And you usually only get maybe 2 runs before it's time for you to, for them to break you off the bus so you can go home. So, so a lot of times you might just sit there and get 1 run, and then you go straight to FIW, which that's Field Inspection Wash. You take your bus there, you get off the bus, and they take the bus and they check it out to see if it needs air pressure in the tires, air conditioning, windshield wiper blades, headlights, anything like that, simple stuff. And then they wash it and fuel it, and then they put it out on the lot as a fresh bus. Well, meanwhile, there's already a fresh bus sitting there, so they just put me on the fresh bus, and I go back to where I'm supposed to take it, park it, and go home. So at the end of the night, you always did that. You'd go, get a fresh bus for the next day. And so when I did the Animal Kingdom thing, like I said, the most I ever took was 2 runs. I'd take a run and come back, and then they'd give me 1 more run, and then I was on my way home. And so, man, I think the temperature really dropped because I'm getting cold here. And I haven't even started a print yet. We got to get a print going here. I'm going to need a minute to do that. What are we down to? That's only down to 45. So it went down 1 degree. That's not too bad. It just feels really cold. God, my hands are freezing. Yeah, exactly, Philip. That's why I want to be on the bus. Put me back on the bus. I don't want to sit here. You know, it flies by when you're driving the bus around, and it's fun. You know, you get to drive all over Disney property, and a lot of times you have very fun people on the bus to talk to you about, where they live, and it's a lot of fun. Wow, Bill, what's up? Yeah, it's 45, but with the wind chill, it's 9 degrees here, and I'm a mile from Hernando County, and Hernando County is getting snow flurries right now. We're not getting them here yet. I don't think we're going to get them here. We were not supposed to. We're right outside the window of where they forecasted snow. But yeah, Tampa supposedly is getting snow right now, and Hernando County, which is a mile from me, is getting snow right now. So, some part of Hernando. I'm guessing it's the northern part of, not the southern that's right where I am. But, so it's probably 10 miles up or so is where they're getting snow. But yeah, we're getting some snow flurries here. It's, and the winds, they say the winds right now are hurricane force winds, Category 1. Hurricane winds right now. It's windy as fuck outside. I'm guessing they're 40 mile an hour winds, probably gusting to 50, 60. It's really windy. I was starting to worry that a tree was going to fall on one of my cars. It was getting windy like that, and I'm like, oh crap. Do I got to go move cars so that the damn tree don't fall on them? So yeah, but anyway, yeah. So if any of you guys are looking for a new career, I highly recommend coming to Florida and go to work for Disney. They're always hiring bus drivers. All right? A lot of people come, you get a free CDL license, okay? They train you. They give you your license. 90% of the people that do that immediately quit and go to work for some other bus company that pays more, which I never understood that because the benefits way outweigh the pay difference, okay? Just free health care right off the bat. Why on earth? You guys were 76 degrees today? Wow. Good for you, Bill. That's awesome. Yeah, the perks were way too good for the little bit of less pay you would get than you would get going to another bus company. So I didn't understand that at all. And I wanted to work at Disney. I didn't go there to get a CDL to go work somewhere else. I wanted to work at Disney. So, but there's a constant rotation of drivers. So they're always hiring drivers. They have a government program to train CDL licensed drivers. So they get paid by the government to train new drivers. So whether they have a job for you or not, they're going to take you and train you. And they'll put you on part-time and until they have a spot to fill. Or you can request full-time. I did, right in training. Me and one other person, we immediately put in for full-time, and we got it. Both of us got it. She's still there. She's the only one in my class that's still working. Everybody else left. She's the only one that stayed. And she's still there. She's a dispatcher now. So she's making really good money. But yeah, so you can always get a job at Disney driving a bus. That position's always open. Yeah, well, pretty much anything radio control competition is very serious. I mean, I think basically any competition, I mean, if you're going to compete, you better be serious, because if you're going to compete, unless you just want to be an also ran, if you want to win or be competitive, you're going to have to be serious about it. That's just how anything competition-wise goes. And, so I got to meet Mark Martin, NASCAR driver, And I met Brett Bodine, and I met, who else did I meet there? Carl Edwards. So they had this is, Christ, this was 20 years ago at least. Maybe 30 years ago. I'm trying to think. But there used to be a resort here called Church Street Station. And I believe it was inside Disney property. Where what's now known as Disney Springs. They had I guess the beer companies. It was your stepdad's favorite driver? Yeah, well, I used to like him a lot too until I met him in person. So they put on this thing for the drivers where they were going to come drive our radio-controlled cars. So I got teamed up with Mark Martin. And you have his car on your desk? Yeah, I used to. I still have it, but I don't have it on my desk anymore. So we're meeting the drivers, and Brett Bodine was in, and he won the event. He was into it. He really wanted to understand how the cars were set up, the chassis wedge, how we, all of that, and arrogant. He was just arrogant. I'm getting to it. I'll tell you. So Brett really wants to know how the car drives, and he goes out on the track, and one of my buddies was with him. And he would tell the guy how the car was handling, and he'd make an adjustment on the car, and he'd say, yeah, that's better, and he really wanted to, was into it, Mark Martin didn't give a shit. He never practiced one lap, didn't give a crap. All he did was bash the way car into the wall and laugh about it the entire race. It was just a big joke to him. He didn't give a fuck about anything, and they don't realize. Listen, it's a lot cheaper dollar wise, but we spend just as much time. Tire testing, wind tunnel testing, track setups. I mean, we spend just as much time as they do. I used to spend every night matching battery packs on my battery equipment for 6-8 hours, matching batteries to go racing. And then we'd go to the track and test, and he didn't understand any of that. He just thought it was a big fucking joke. These are just toys. And he didn't give a fuck, and all he did was run my car into the wall all night, just beat the living shit out of it. And meanwhile, Brett Bodine won the thing. So yeah, I lost all respect for Mark Martin after that. If he doesn't understand, racing's racing. It doesn't matter the size of the vehicle or how much it costs. It's how much time you put into it, how much dedication to the hobby, the sport. That you put into it, and that didn't mean a fucking thing to him. And I really thought that was the guy that it would mean something to, because of his battles with getting into NASCAR. I thought he would be the guy. I was really a big fan of his, because I thought he would be the guy that would really appreciate what we're doing. No, I was completely wrong. He was a total jerk. James Stewart, my friend. What do you mean he would wave everybody by? We always used to laugh. Mark would wave everyone by. What does that mean? Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that. Yeah, well, I understand that, but like I said, I had a lot of respect for Mark Martin because of, how he had to fight to get into NASCAR, and I really thought he was going to be different than he turned out to be, and he absolutely thought that our racing was just a joke. So, I don't know. We have RC cars that go 200 miles an hour. So, I don't think anything goes 200 miles an hour is a joke. So I don't know. I was very disappointed. It broke my heart, honestly. I'll be honest with you. It really broke my heart, because before he signed a couple of things for me, I got his autograph before we started the racing. They were doing a signing thing, and So I went and got his signature on a couple of things, and that was all cool and everything. And then when it's time to race, I just, totally lost all respect for him. Well, I have to disagree with you, Jeff. Just like your airplane's not a toy airplane, and Mike Bird I'm sorry, Mike Barrow backed me up on that. It's a real car, it's a real airplane, and it follows all the same aerodynamic everything as the full size one. So to call it a toy, listen, the stuff you buy at Radio Shack or Toys R Us is a toy, okay? But the airplane you're buying from Horizon Hobby is not a toy, okay? It's a miniature real airplane, and so yeah, I don't think that's a toy. Listen, I know the difference. I got lots of toys, okay? I love toys, but the stuff we buy at a hobby shop is not a toy. The stuff you buy at Walmart, that's a toy, okay? So yeah, there's a very different, you're not competing in competition with toys, okay? So I think there's a big difference in that. And I don't have anything against toys. I love toys. I've got lots of toys. There's I don't think I have any. Well, that's a toy. The Mach 5 on the top up here is a toy. That's not a hobby grade. That's a Walmart toy. Yeah, that's a toy. I have all kinds of toys, and I love buying toys. But something I take to a race to compete in is not a toy. That's a real race car. It might not be a full size race car, but it's still a race car. It's not a toy. So, yeah, I have more toy cars than competition cars. Just because I'm not, I say I'm not really that into it, but for 2 years I was very into it. I was at all the national events. Traveling all over the country racing cars. I had a sponsor and everything, so I took it very seriously for a few years. But I just couldn't do it anymore. It's getting expensive. Oh yeah, listen. He was very nice when he was signing the autographs and everything. Like I said, that wasn't it. It was the disrespect he had for our toy cars, which is just what Jeff said. He considers it a toy. He doesn't realize how much time we spend, getting these things set up and testing and everything. It was just a big joke to him. So it's not about his personality. It was about his respect for another man's, sport. I distinguish the difference between a hobby and a sport. Is if you're competing, it's a sport. If you're fun flying or fun driving or whatever, it's a hobby. Okay, but once you become, professional, you're competing in an event. That's no longer a hobby. That's a sport. So I don't think a dollar amount should have anything to do with whether or not it's a sport or not. I mean, how much is a bowling ball cost? How much is a spear? If you're a spear thrower in the Olympics, is that because it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars like a race car? It's not a sport. It's a sport. I mean, it's When am I going to start printing out? Well, I have to. Let me load the. I got to load this. I got to put the wheel up here and create a file to print it. So let me do that. See, the problem is I can't read. I can't read the chat and run the printer software, the slicer software at the same time. Well, I guess I can. I guess I can make the window smaller so I can keep. Yeah, let me do that. I haven't done that yet, but let me do that. I can make this smaller so I can still see the chat and work on my print. So let me do that. There we go. Okay, so let me shrink this up so I can see the chat. There we go. Okay. All right. So I can still see the chat and I can work on my file here. So let me go get a wheel. Okay. We're going to say no. We're going to scale it up. To, let me think. I think it's here. Shit, what was it? 3. No, apparently that's not it. Crap, I don't know how big I'd scale that up. All right, let's try it again here. You know what? I have to go to the bathroom. All right, I'm going to need a minute, guys. I got to go pee. And then I'll come back. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Okay, I know that was long. Sorry. Yeah, it turned into a poop. I had to drop the boys off at the pool. So, all right, let's try this again here. What did I miss while I was gone? Hang on. Looks a bit crumpled. Yeah, it's not crumpled. What it is it's hard to explain. What you're seeing is that diamond pattern on the side is actually the infill. This is a transparent filament, so you can see through the car. So that's what's going on inside the car to give it structural strength. And you see it through the filament because it's clear. If I turn it, it'll probably yeah. Now you can't see through it now because the light's different. And but you can see the layer lines, but you can't really feel them. And then the top is pretty bad, but that's normal. That's what happens on a flat surface. So it's going to require some sanding and some primer and sanding to fill it. Maybe some the red putty, body filler putty. I might have to put a little of that on it and smooth it out before I paint it. But yeah, it came out pretty good. This is a pretty good print. This was a very good print. This one came out really good. Now this has been primed and painted. It's got 3 coats of primer on it, sanded in between. And if you look at the hood, you see that it's light gray and dark gray. That's how I can tell where the highs and lows are. You sand through until you get, it's smoothed out. So yeah, but this came out really good. It's a very good representation of a G8. It looks just like my car. The hood scoops, the grill work, the fog lights, all very accurate. It's a really good detailed print. The trunk lid has the spoiler on it, and the tail lights are there. You got to paint them in, but they're there. And yeah, so it's a good print. The mirrors are here, nice mirrors. They're not because I made it big. If I had made it small, like they want you to, the mirrors would have broke right off. Because when you get them that small, the pedestals are so tiny that if you breathe on them, they break off. So the mirrors break off right away. So you want to make it bigger so the mirrors will stay on. So yeah, they came out really good. So yeah, it's a good print. I'm looking forward to. Well, it's still on here somewhere. Where the hell did it put it? All right. Well, we're gonna have to. Is it over here? Wow. Okay. Let's Okay. All right. Let's go back to holy crap. I guess it's still highlighted. No, it's not. Oh god. Now what am I going to do? Man, let me see if I can highlight it. Okay. There, that worked. Wow. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's go here. And then we're going to go to, let's just go to 300. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, so now we go to, okay, that's pretty close. All right, let's try that. Let's go to, we gotta rotate it. So let me do that. here, and we're going to rotate it. No, not that. I want to rotate it. I don't want to lay it flat. Here we go. Okay, and then we'll do the green 90. Okay, I think that did it. Yep, that's what I wanted. Okay, all right. Now we just got to make a couple adjustments, and then we can print it. Let me adjust the. I don't think I made any adjustments there. Here I had to change the infill. We're going to go to cubic. We're going to change it to about 6. And I think we've got, yeah, it's double walled. I think we're good there. We have to go to support. And let's go to enable support on build plate only. Let's try that. And let's change it to 1%. Okay, well, let's slice it and see what we get. All right, what do we got? All right, let's print it. Let's see what that does. All right, let me save the file. Pull that out of there. Oh, let's preheat this thing. Uh-oh. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. Got it preheating. Let's get this one here. Save this file. Okay. Export. Oh, no, that wasn't right. What the hell happened there? Export G code to the D drive, and we're going to call this just call it wheel B, I guess. Can you guys hear the wind? Wow. God. Kinda, yeah. Man, it's windy out there. Holy crap. It had calmed down for a bit, but man, it's back. Holy crap, is it back. Okay, so is wheel B on the, yes. Okay. All right. We're going to give the chamber a few minutes to warm up before I start the print. Are you talking about traffic lights for your train set? Is that what you're looking for? Drop a steamer? You guys are hilarious. Drop a steamer. Oh, God. Michael Bear's excited. Hey, I have a question for you, Michael Bear. Why do you have a Facebook page, Michael, like Miser or something? What is that? Because I've got a friend request from, it's your picture, and it's Michael, but the last name's like Miser or something different. What is that about? Is Bear not your real last name, or is that an alias, or is the other one an alias? What's the story there? Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, it always sucks to. So here's my advice, so you'll never crash again. This is how if you buy a spare or something and you'll never need it, right? Well, same thing. Put a trash bag in your airplane. Just roll it up and stuff it in the airplane someplace. So that's your garbage bag when you crash your airplane. So you have a bag on hand to pick up the pieces, and then you'll never crash. You'll never need the bag. So just do that. And you'll never have a problem. Anybody flying tomorrow? Yeah, that's a good question. What's the weather like for you, Mike Bird? What's your weather like right now? Yeah, we're only going up to I think 44 is the high tomorrow. But by Wednesday it's going to be 70 again. So there you go. You wish I'd print a prop. Yeah, I don't know if there's any files out there for that. That's a good one. I am going to do the pilot though. I'm gonna work on a cool pilot, and then I can print it any size. You guys just tell me what size you want it, and I'll print it for you. Wow. So what's 12 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? All right, the printer's printing. It's just starting. Here we go. I don't know if you'll probably be able to hear it. It won't be loud, but you'll probably hear it in the background. Oh, you want me to balance the prop? Wait a minute, I got the prop balancer right here. Hang on, yeah, right here. Here we go. I got a prop balancer, and we got a prop. Here we go. There, see? You see how accommodating I am? I try to do whatever you guys want. There you go. We're balancing the prop. There you go. No, I'm not going to print the car because the car takes... it was quite a few hours to print the car. It was 9 hours to print the car. So, but it's only going to take about 30 minutes to print a wheel, maybe less. It won't take very long. So yeah, I'm going to print a wheel that will go on this car, hopefully. No camera on the printer. No, I could put a camera. I could turn rafter cam on the printer, I guess, but I don't think you'll be able to see anything. They tinted the glass on these printers. Why they did that, I don't know. So you can't really see into the printer, and obviously it's too cold out here to open the door. I definitely have to leave the door closed. So I don't think you'd see it anyway. I mean, you could see the print head moving around, but you wouldn't be able to see what it's printing, you know, because I'm printing it in black on a black table or a black print bed, you know, so it's a black wheel like this, you know, and it's sitting on a black print bed, so you're not going to see it, you know, but you can see the print head moving. So if you want to see that, I can turn rafter cam that way, and so you can see the printer head moving, but that's all you're going to see. I'm surprised you don't have a 3D printer yet, Mike. You know, you could print all your own stuff. You know, your spinners and your pilots, and you know, a lot of wheels for your planes, everything. You know, you wouldn't have to buy anything anymore. You buy foam board to build the plane and print your own accessories to go on the plane. You know, I'm surprised you don't have one of these. $300. That's all you got to spend. You know, and you'll have an absolute awesome Super Duty great printer that'll print any material you want. Carbon fiber, anything. You know, nylon, you know, glass filled, whatever. It'll print anything. It comes with the hardened nozzle, so you can print any material that you want. Awesome printer. $300. That's it. Free shipping. So, oh, that's a good idea, Mike. Yeah, yeah. Print yourself some little pedestals or jacks or whatever. You know, I should print some mini, you know, hydraulic jacks that aren't functional, but I could just stick them under the car to hold the car in the air. You know, that'd be cool. Well, why don't you build one? How big is your property? I know you got woods out back where you put your tent up. Yeah, how big a property do you have? Yeah, I know what you meant, Mike. Yeah, it's I have an Indy car in the house, big Indy car. It's ginormous. I think it's 1/3 scale or something. It's really big. And it's I've got it on blocks to keep it from flat spotting the tires. It's got some pretty. It's a toy, you know. It's toy grade, but it's really cool looking. And it's super big, and it's got some kind of a rubbery kind of tire, but it's not really a good rubber tire. It's like a plastic rubber. So yeah, if it's sitting on the tires, it will definitely flat spot them, and they wouldn't fix themselves in an hour of running the car. It would take, you know, weeks for them to get round again. So I purposely keep that one off the tires. Well, you're not getting any younger, Mike. You better get on it, you know, because before you know it, you'll be too old to want it anymore. So you better get on it. You know, I didn't want to use my 401k money, but I'm so glad I did. This is the greatest thing I've ever done. I can't tell you how happy I am that I finally built this shop. And I've got my lift in it now. I've built my room, and I'm working on getting this all finished. And this has been my dream since I was like 16 years old, and it's finally happening. And I can't even begin to tell you how cool this is. You know, I wish I'd have done it sooner. You know, I didn't want to spend the money, but you know, it was, and my money's all recovered. The money I spent out of my 401k, I've already made back. It only took 3 years to get back to where I was. I know I lost 3 years of growing it bigger, but at least I'm back to where I was. Well, I'm above it. It's made money again. It's just yeah, I gave up some money, but it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. This is the coolest thing, to have this building to go out to and hang out in, work on cars, work on planes, 3D print, have this great thing behind me here. You know, it's just, this is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, Mike, well, you know, you never know when you're going to die. You know, we're at that age, you know, I've seen so many actors, you know, I keep watching these things on Facebook, and these actors died at 62, 63, and I'm like, shit, you know, I'm already 65. You know, how much longer have I got? You know, like, I mean, literally, I could die any day. I mean, people are dying at this age, at 50, in the 50s, they're dying, you know, and I'm like Bill Paxton. I think he died at, what did he die at, 50, 55 or something? He died way too young. You know, so yeah, I wish I had pulled the trigger way earlier, but I'm glad I pulled it now. I'm super happy. This is just fun. I mean, literally, when I come out here and work on the room, work on a car, work on a plane, work on printing in my own cool little my little building here. I mean, it's just, I can't even begin to tell you how cool this is. It's amazing. Might not make it to the end of the stream. Well, let's hope you at least make it to the end of the stream, Phil. Yeah, exactly. When your time's up, your time's up. You know, when God calls you home, you know, you never know when that's going to happen. So, you know, when they tell you to make the most out of your life because you don't know what tomorrow brings, man, I can't even begin to tell you how true that is. It really is. And that's why I finally, you know, pulled the trigger and did this, because I didn't want to wait any longer. It's like, screw it. You know, that money in I could die tomorrow and lose all that money that's in my 401k, and have never done this. Never got my building up. You know, I could have died with money in the bank and never had this. That would have sucked. So yeah, you're right. EQ, you know, it can happen at any time. We don't know. We just don't know. So don't wait, guys. You know, whatever you want to do in life, do it. Just do it. Don't worry about, you know, like I was worried about the money. You know, I haven't needed that money yet. So I did it. I did the right thing. I did it when it was cheap enough to do it. Because the prices keep going up too, guys. You know, it's not going to get cheaper. You know, you wait another 2-3 years and the price could triple, you know, to what you wanted to do. So yeah, just do it. Well, that's going to be way too big. Alright, I think we're going to stop that. That's just going to be ridiculously too big. Yeah, let me cancel this. We're just wasting filament. All right, let me fix that. We're gonna resize it. To prepare, and we'll go back to scaling, and I think I want to cut this in half. No, that's too small. Let's go down to 244, 5. Okay, that looks about right. All right, we'll try that. Okay, so I gotta create a new file again. Hold on, let me get that. Yeah, that's way too big. I don't know if you can you, let me look here. No, hang on. Yeah, you see how that's the wheel there. That's the support for the wheel. And this is the size it needs to be. So it's way too big. So now you had to guess. All right, let me get my scraper tool. I might just pull it off my hand here. Let me look. No, I don't think so. Wow, that came off pretty easy. All right, good. All right. Put that back in. Save this file. Hello, come on, there you go. All right, slice it. And then export it. And we're going to call this okay. Save. And check to make sure it saved it. Okay. Yeah, the slicing software is pretty easy to use. It didn't. I mean, how long did that take to? Uh-oh. What happened there? Shit. We might have screwed that up. Let's find out. I hope it didn't screw it up. Yeah, it did. Ah, crap. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's fixing itself. Okay, we're good. Print. Okay. All right. New print started. It's going to take... yeah. About 30 minutes to print. I think that's pretty close to the correct size. You got to experiment sometimes. Ever think about getting rid of the Volvo and getting a sports car? Press all the buttons. There you go, Phil. Going to get rid of the sports car and get a Volvo. Okay. A Volvo station wagon by any chance? You gonna do the wagon deal? Get more airplanes in it. Yeah, it's definitely nice to have a car with room in it to take airplanes, you know. That's, you know, these guys that, you know, have Priuses and they're trying to fly RC airplanes. I'm like, what the hell are you thinking? Christ. You can't get anything in a Prius. You know, what the hell? That's why I love my big wagons. You know, I got tons of room in those things. I think after this wheel prints, I'm going to call it a night because it's cold out here, guys. I'm telling you. It's 37 outside the building. Roy! What's up? How you doing, man? Yeah, it says 43 in here now. Down to 43 in the building. It's 37, I think she's told me, outside the building. So yeah, it's cold. Way too cold. Yeah, how many airplanes can you get in a Suzuki X90? Oh, guys, I gotta go back in the house for a minute. I forgot. She said the heat cut off. And I don't know if it's a temperature setting or if something broke. So I gotta go check that real quick. I forgot. Yeah, she said the heat cut off, so... Out in the shop repairing planes. Yeah, what's the temperature in your shop? How cold are you at? Oh my God, you gotta be freezing. get a coat on. Well, I got a shirt and a sweatshirt, so but yeah, I think I'm gonna. You're right. I'm gonna go grab my I've got a. I guess you'd call it a. I think it's a denim. It's got a liner in it. It's a denim jacket with a liner. It's in the truck, so I think I'm gonna go get that. Go check the heat in the house. So I'll be back in a minute. This will be much faster than the bathroom break. I'll be right back. Oh my God, I might as well go back to Ohio. This is ridiculous. It is freezing out there. Holy crap. Holy crap. Ugh. Wow. It's cold. So Michael Bear, what kind of Volvo are you getting? Are you getting a station wagon? You got a model in mind? What Volvo are you gonna get? Where'd my failed wheel go? Here it is. So how hard is it going to be to brake? Oh, that came right out. Perfect. All right. So this is the axle, and this is all waste. This is support. Okay. So this is all going to get thrown away until it. You know, the axle's pretty long. See how long the axle is. So it's going to print this mess here all the way up till it reaches here. Okay, and then it's going to start printing the wheel on top of this, and that's the part we're keeping. So we gotta waste this to achieve this. So that's just how it goes. I've been printing it the other way, which is a lot less waste, but it's not working out. So we're going to try flipping it and see what happens. Just kidding about the Volvo. There's nothing wrong with a Volvo. They make good cars. The wagon's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, the heat's on. Yeah, I got the heat on. Yeah, it reset to 74 degrees again. And so I cranked it up to 77. It'll never get to 77 in the house. Our heater don't work that good. When it's this cold out, it'll never reach 77. We'll be lucky if it hits 75. But that's okay. That's a heat. We can live with that temperature. 75 is where we usually keep it. 74, 75. You know. So, yeah. So if you're buying refills of filament, you print your own spool. I printed this spool. It's purple on this side, it's yellow, gold on this side, and it comes apart. You unscrew it, put the new spool in, you know, that came without its own spool. You save money if you buy refills instead of full, and you have to use your own spool. So why keep throwing spools away? Just, you know, reuse them. So now this one, this is reusable, but this, I didn't print this one. This is what brand is this? This is Like Silk. It's a company that makes this, and they have their own copy of a bamboo spool. The holes are smaller, but it's got, you know, it's got those perforated holes in it, and this is reusable also. But like this is a Crowley spool, and this, yeah, this spool's not reusable. You can't take this apart and put another refill in it. It doesn't come apart. So this is just, you just throw this away when you're done. You know, I've got a box full of these over here. You know, so you end up throwing, you're paying for the spool, and you just throw the spool away. So why not? And the same thing here. This is a cardboard spool, which is definitely cheaper. But you're still, you know, it's waste. You got to throw that away. This spool, you know, you buy the filament, it doesn't come on a spool, you put it on the spool, and then you keep reusing the spool. So that's cool. I like that idea. You want to know what my power bill is? Is that whose power bill you're interested in? Yeah, I agree. The only electric car I want is an RC car. Yeah, that's pretty fast. Christ, we're already 3/4 of an inch tall. So that's moving pretty good. Yeah, my electricity's pretty cheap, guys. I'll be honest with you, and I'm not even conserving. You know, all these, of course, these are all LED lights, so they don't use shit. But the LED lights stay on 24/7 because I really don't have a good way of turning them off. I don't have power to the building yet. I'm running off extension cords that come from the house. But that's coming soon. That's the next thing I'm going to do is... Oh, I'm going to build a couple of walls, but the next major thing is going to be putting the electric in so I can put an on-off switch and actually shut the power off in the building when I'm not out here. But right now I just leave the lights on. So I'm wasting a little bit of electricity. I don't have any heat on or anything out here, just lights. You know. So it's not that bad, but yeah, my electric bill, you know, right now it's under $200. And during the summer, when the air conditioner is running, it's a little over $200. But when it's not freezing like this, my electric bill is usually in the $80 range. You know, when I'm not running the heat 24/7. Yeah, my power bill is like $80. Yeah, that's for curls, Mike. Three air conditioning units. Yeah, yeah, that's that. I'm sure that's a pretty penny to keep running. How many square feet is your house? Yeah, I don't have a gas bill. Everything here is electric. I don't have gas. Don't want it. Well, yeah, but you know, first of all, you don't live in cheap hotels, and you certainly don't want to give up your 6,300 square foot house. So yeah, you know, it's not like you work as a janitor someplace, Mike. You make a good living. You can afford it. You can certainly afford to put your garage out back. I don't know why you don't do it. You know, you could get all your wife's cars out of storage and look at the storage bill you know get rid of by putting your building up. The thing would pay for itself in the first year. Okay? Just getting her cars out of storage and putting in your new building out back would pay for itself in the first year. Yeah, flames scare me. Okay, I don't like anything that's burning, especially in a trailer. I wouldn't be too afraid of the building. It's a steel building, so flames out here wouldn't overexcite me. But I still don't like the idea of flames. I like the electric heat. It's quiet, it's clean, and you know, there's no open flame. So that's three you know, good things. Yeah, but the F-150 is not costing you anything, Mike. You don't have it in storage, right? It's just parked out in the driveway or whatever. That's not costing you anything other than if you're still having it insured. You know, everybody says, "Oh, you should get rid of all those cars." Well, they're not costing me a cent to sit here. You know, I already bought them. They're paid for. I don't have to pay taxes on them or anything. They just sit here. All right, they're not costing me a thing. You know, I got plenty of room. And don't have any rules against it. So, you know, they can just sit here. I'm perfectly fine with that. But yeah, for you to not build a garage out back to put all your cars in is silly. I don't know what you're waiting for. You know, like I said, it would pay for itself the first year. You get those cars out of storage, stop paying the storage bills, it'd pay for the building, and then you'd have your shop that you want and do the things you want. Your life would be wonderful. You'd be so much happier, Mike, believe me. You just can't even begin to think about what a difference it makes. And you'd be saving money in the long run. Yeah, screw the neighbors. I don't give a crap what my neighbors think. Yeah, when they start paying my mortgage, they can have a voice on what my house looks like. Otherwise, just don't look over here. You know, nobody's forcing you to turn your head this way. Just don't look over here. That's why I live out in the country, in a rural area. I don't have any rules. I can do whatever I want. Wow, that just went to like 1.25 inches. Holy crap, that thing is hauling ass. Wow, that's moving quick. You know, it's really funny. You bring that up, too, about the neighbors. So where I used to live in town, I had all the same cars, but they were all show ready. You know, they're not anymore. They all need a little TLC, but they were all lined up in my front yard. I had them all backed in. I had 5 cars on the lawn and 2 in the driveway. So I had 7 cars across the front of the property. Every one of them ready to take to a show. Just grab one and go. And at Halloween, I had 3 different families come to the door and tell me how much they love my cars out front. You know, and my mom and my first wife used to bitch about the neighbors probably hate your cars, blah 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 blah. And then I had 3 neighbors when they were coming to the door for candy tell me how much they love my cars. So there you go. So not everybody's pissed off. You know, some people like it. You know, what are you gonna do? You can't make everybody happy. I don't care what you do. You can do anything you want. Somebody's gonna if you've got a Karen in your neighborhood that's gonna bitch, she'll find something to bitch about. You know, you can't make everybody happy. So I don't try. I make myself happy. I try to be respectful. I don't purposely try to piss people off. But at the same time, I'm not going to change my life because they don't like it. You know, I buy the cars because I like them. None of these cars are eyesores. There's there's kind of one wreck on the property, but nobody can see it. It's behind the house. So the garage is blocking it from this side, and the barn's blocking it from the other side, and there's nobody behind me, so nobody can see that car. And the only thing wrong with it is that they cut the roof off of it, but like I said, nobody can see that car. Not from the road, not from anywhere on the property. You can't see the car. Oh, Roy. When I get the garage mahal done, maybe you can just come live here. We got to be close to. It's going to start printing the keeper part now. We're almost done with the support. We're going to start printing tire now. Yeah. No matter what you do, you can't make everybody happy. It's just the way it is. You can try and try and try, but it ain't gonna happen. So at some point, you just gotta draw a line in the sand and say, "That's it. I'm not going any farther. Take it or leave it. This is it. I'm not going any farther." I really want to print that vase in the silver, but I can't find my roll of silver filament. I don't know what happened to it. It's not on this machine. It's not on that machine. Well, maybe, wait a minute. Maybe it is on that machine. Is it on there? No. No, that's got that crappy multicolor, rainbow color thing on it. Yeah, I can't find that spool of silver. I don't know where it went. I really want to print that vase in silver. I just think it's going to look cool. Okay, yeah, it's starting to print the brake caliper now. I don't even know why you waste your breath, Roy. Just fucking ignore her. You know, it's just not worth it. Screw it. Yeah, Michael Bear, wouldn't it be nice to go out and sit in your air-conditioned and heated garage and not go sit in a tent? You know, I know you'd like that a whole lot better. No, she doesn't, yeah. Yeah, that's one more thing to bitch about. Okay, it's print and tire now. Not support. It's done print and support. Now it's print and tire. So yeah, this is moving pretty quick. It'll be done here shortly. Yeah, exactly, Mike. I mean, I know the camping idea and everything was kind of cool and everything, but you would have enjoyed being in your private garage like this setup way more than the tent. You know, I mean, I love my tent when I need it, but I wouldn't choose to be in it over this. There's no chance of that happening. Well, Mike, you just need to pull the trigger and do it. You know, the time's wasting, you know. You're just burning money with storage. You're getting older. Nothing's going to stop. The price of reproducing this building is going to keep going up. You just need to pull the trigger, dude. Just do it. You know, stop thinking about it. Just do it. I promise you're going to be glad you did. I absolutely promise you, because I know from experience. You will absolutely be so glad you did it. You'll be saying the same thing I said. I should have done it sooner. All those years of doing oil changes on my back on the ground. God. Oh my God, I can't even tell you what a difference, just that alone. Oh my God, to be able to put the car on a lift, go underneath it, you know, have my nice oil drain pan, pull the snout up, you know, let the oil drain, and it's just, oh my God. Unbelievable. Just that alone is just such a difference. Now, I wonder why it did that. What would it need all that extra support for? Huh. That's crazy. So that wheel's going to be way too small. So it looks like it's only printing, you know, this silly ring we got here. The inside is the size that's printing the wheel. I don't know what this extra support out here is for, because it's not supporting anything. It's not printing all the way out here. It's only printing the inner ring. Everything outside the inner ring, it's not printing anything on top of this. So what did it print all that support for? That doesn't make any sense at all. I don't understand that a bit. Well, my building included the installation, so it was $29,000, and they delivered it and put it up. So, you know, when I built it myself, you know, they had it up in 5 days. If I put it up myself, it would have taken a month at least. You know, plus all the work, and you know, so yeah. I'm super happy. I mean, they started out doing a horrible job, and they really didn't do it all right. But you know, it is what it is. It's up. It hasn't blown down. I think we've been through a hurricane with it already. It's not leaking anywhere yet, so far so good there. So yeah, I would say, yeah, I'm not sorry I had it built. I thought about building my own. My buddy built his own, but he bought one of those, the Tunham, what do they call it? The hut, you know, the looks like an old military hangar with the roof's rounded. He bought one of those and put it up himself. It was a lot cheaper than this. It's a lot smaller than this. And it took him and a friend about 2 months to put it up, I think. Yeah, that's it. A quantum hut. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Dan, what's up? How you doing, man? It's nice. I mean, he insulated the whole inside with styrofoam to keep it cooler in there, and then He put one of those air conditioning units in it that, you know, where the unit it's all plug and play. Everything's pre-charged. You just snap the lines on and turn it on, and you're ready to go. And you just hang the unit on the wall inside, and it does a great job cooling the garage down. So, you know, it's nice. It's tall. He's got a big lift in his, and he's got an upstairs like mine, similar to. He has stuff stored upstairs. So he wasn't making like a hangout like I am. You know, this is going to be literally, you could live in this when I'm done. It's going to be really nice. He didn't do that. He just built a second level for storage. He has a fork truck, so he can put stuff upstairs using the fork truck. So that makes that easy. Yeah, it's a trade-off. You can get it cheaper. You know, I don't think I would do. Now that I look back on it, and Mike, I'm going to give you a little advice. Don't go for this fancy galvanized, aluminized. You know, just get a red iron building. It's much cheaper, and you're not going to live long enough to ever see that thing rust. So, go, just get a red iron building, and it'll be fine. You know, I'm thinking, oh, you know, this will never rust, and well, I'm not going to live long enough to see this rust anyway. You know, even if I had put a red iron building up, it would have been a lot cheaper, because this is all this custom blend of aluminum and steel galvanized. You know, so this stuff will never rust or anything. It's got steel in it, so a magnet will stick to it. But it's this new technology. The outside skin and everything's all the same shit. You know, so yeah, I would if I was going to do it again, I'd do a red iron building, much cheaper. So that'll help you too, Mike. Just do the red iron. It'll last 20, 30 years. You won't be around that long. Let the next guy that buys it worry about whether it's rusting and needs to be replaced or whatever. It'll do fine for you. I mean, I love my building. Don't get me wrong, and I love the price I paid for it. But today, it would cost twice what I paid for this. I think the building alone now is like $45,000, and then they have the concrete work. You're going to be, you know, you're going to be at $75,000 to recreate what I did for $45,000. I think. Let's say the building was basically 46. Yeah. Is Mike fasting again? Yeah, I need to do another fast. I'm due for a fast. Yeah, this particular wheel is not printing tread, but I've printed tires that have tread on them, which looks really cool. You know, when you print a wheel for one of these cars and it's got tread on it. I forget which one I printed that had the tread. Maybe it's this one. No. I forget which one I printed that had tread on it. I'll bet it's the other one. It's this size. Yeah, this one's the bigger one. Well, not really. No, there's a bigger one. Where's the big one? Print a bigger Challenger. I think that one might have the tread on it. Where is that thing? sure. Oh yeah, when I sell this property, I'm going to do real good on it. It's already doubled in value. I've been here 11 years, and it's doubled in value. Yeah, I only paid $80,000 for this, so it paid off. I paid that off 5 years. It took to pay it off. I think I'm looking at 5 acres closer to Disney. That's the property I was gonna buy if I go back to Disney, and I probably would eventually build this or bigger one of these on that property and probably retire there, and sell this place because that's closer to my flying field too. That was why I picked that particular property. It's way closer to the flying field I go to, and it's close to Disney. So it was the best of both worlds to buy that piece of property. So I it's still for sale. It's kind of, it's a big wooded piece of property. There's 100 trees on it, probably several hundred trees on it, and it's in the middle of a bunch of other properties. So I'm going to have to cut an access road to get to it. There'll be a right-of-way on somebody else's property for me to get to that piece. So it's not real appealing for anybody to buy it. So I don't think it's sold. And it's in a part of town. It's not a luxury area. It's a low. Most of the properties have trailers on it around there, which is fine. I don't care. It just makes it less desirable for other people, and it's perfect for me. So, yep, buy low and sell high. That's the way you do it. I had some expert on YouTube or on Facebook telling me how he buys and sells cars for a living. Buys and sells. That make sure you remember that sell part. So I contacted him because he was selling a Chevy SS, which is the same. It's the same platform as my G8, the Pontiac version. It's the exact same platform, slightly different body panels because they made the SS slightly different looking, but the running gear, everything's exactly the same car. And they went for a lot of money, and they hold their value too. People really want the SS more than the Pontiac. So this guy's got a total loss car. All right, it was wrecked. They totaled it. He bought it back, and he bought all the parts to fix it. It needed a hood, a fender, bumper cover, suspension on the left front, and he was asking $20,000 for it. Now, a wrecked SS, total loss, rebuilt title, The parts all need to be painted. He didn't bother to paint them or anything. And when I offered him a price, he told me that to go buy that I can't afford his car. And I said it's not about affordable. It's about what's it worth. It's a rebuilt title. It's and it's not finished. Whoever buys it has to have it painted and put back together, and he makes the point that he spent $24,000 buying it back and buying all the stuff for it, and he's selling it for 20. I said, "You're a fucking genius." Are you gonna make it up in volume? You're gonna buy like 4 more at 20 and sell them for 24? I'm sorry, buy them for 24 and sell them for 20, because you're gonna make millions. I guess I pissed him off. I don't know. I just, I think it's funny when people have branded cars that are total losses and think they're going to get the same money that you get for a non-branded car. It's totally unrealistic, but whatever. Yeah, see, that property I'm looking at, I'd be 10 minutes away from my field and 30 minutes away from Disney. Right now, I'm 45 minutes away from my field and 2 hours away from Disney. So it would be a way better situation for me to go buy that other property. This is almost done. It's just about to finish. I'm looking at the size of that wheel. It's got to be close. The real trick would be whether the wheel prints or not. The spokes, those little spokes, that's going to be the trick. Whether it's going to print those spokes or not. Yeah, I might, Michael. I'm not going to do it till next year, because I don't want to have to worry about how much money I'm making, and have to pay back my Social Security because I made too much money. I'm not going to go through that, because if I go back to Disney, I want to be able to bid out of, I don't want to be stuck on the night shift at Magic Kingdom for a year and a half. If I go there just before it's time to bid, I'll be able to bid. I can bid. Nobody wants to work nights, and I do. So I can bid studios, Epcot, the afternoon shift, night shift that starts at 2 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and works till midnight, 1 a.m. area, and that's perfect. That's the shift I want. So. And it's easy to bid that, so I'll get that shift. The next thing is just which days off do I get, and at that point I really won't care. Because the next time around I'll probably be able to get the days off I want. Like I said, especially in the buses, because so many people revolve out. You move up the ladder fast. If you stay, you move up the ladder pretty fast, and every time somebody leaves, you're one notch up, so that's how they determine who bids first. The most senior people bid what routes, what they want, and what days off they want, and then it trickles down from there till it gets to you, and then what's left over is what you can pick from. And there's always an afternoon shift or night shift at Epcot or studios, so so that's easy. Yeah, Dan, they're trying to do away with property taxes in Florida. Our governor is pushing real hard to get that done. And of course, his, the people on the board, or the Senate, or the whatever the state level shit is, are against it because they want that fluff money to spend on the projects that puts money in their back pocket. And he's determined to get rid of our property taxes. Apparently, we already have over $1 billion in reserve to pay for catastrophic problems in Florida. So he says we don't need to charge people property tax anymore. We have enough money to cover whatever we need. And that's only on houses you live in. It's got to be your homesteaded live-in property, not an investment property. You're still going to pay property tax on an investment property. We're talking about the house you live in. No more property tax on the one you live in. And I'm hoping he gets it passed. I really do. Because I paid my house off 6 years ago. But I got to pay property tax on it every year. It's ridiculous. So it's never paid off. I'm never going to pay it off. Because I got to pay property tax every year. Well, see, Dan, that's what we had the lottery for. The Florida lottery was supposed to be paid. All that money goes to the schools, or not all of it, but a lot of it was supposed to go to the schools. So that's covered also. We don't need property tax. And like I said, businesses are still going to pay property tax. If you buy a property for renting, investment, you're going to pay property tax. So it's only the people that are living in their own homes. It's not that big a chunk of money in the grand scheme of things. And since we already have enough money in the kitty, and they want to raise sales tax a couple pennies, well, that's fine. That works for me. I'm good with that. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, he needs to run for president. He does. Yeah, he's sick and tired of hearing retired people having to move out of their home that they paid off 20 years ago because their property taxes went so high they're on a fixed income, they can't afford to pay their property taxes, so they have to sell the home they retired to because they can't afford to live in it anymore. But they paid it off 20 years ago. It makes him sick. He can't believe that. He says, this is ridiculous. So I hope he passes it. I hope it happens. I would love not to have to pay property tax anymore. Hey, it's done. Just finished. Let's see what we built. Let's see how good this came out. It's probably the wrong size, but it'll be close. Oh, actually, that doesn't look too bad, actually. That might be the right size. I don't know why all that extra support, but let's take a look. Wow, that printed really good. Now if I can just get it off of here without breaking it. So, hang on, let me show you what we got here. So there's the wheel. The spokes look really good. You can see the rotor in there. That printed pretty good. There's a caliper and a rotor. And then here you can see where the tire stops and where the support is. See? So let me break it off of here and see what we got. Okay, that released pretty good. Well, that ain't gonna work. What the hell happened there? It didn't put the axle in the middle of the support. So, so that's worthless. What the hell? Why did it print like that? That don't make any damn sense. Let me go back. Was it like that on the... Did it build it that way? Did I miss that? No, it's in the center. Why the hell did it print like this? Oh my god, that is crazy. I don't understand that at all. Why the hell is the axle way off center? I might be able to fix it. I might be able to glue it, cut it and glue it back on in the center, and it'll work. The wheel itself looks great. That's the best print of the wheel I've gotten yet. That looks really good. I don't know why the axle's not in the center, though. It is on the build plate. I don't know what the hell happened there. Is it the right size? Did I guess right? Well, it's a little bigger, but I kind of wanted it bigger anyway, so it's close. It might be the right size. Oh my god, that's hilarious. I don't know what the hell happened there. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm going to paint the car, Michael, yeah. Originally, I thought I was just going to paint that metallic coat on it, but now the car needs full paint because I'm going to have to put primer on it, filler, to make it smooth enough. So, but that's okay. I mean, I wouldn't have printed it any different. I would have used the same materials and printed it the same way. Yeah, see, the same thing happened again. This file, I mean, not only did that not print in the center, okay, I mean, that's totally wrong. Yeah. But the center broke out of the wheel again. And I don't know why it does that. It's not printing to this to be one piece. But this is the best print of the wheel. This is beautiful. Let me see if this is the right size. Yeah, and that's even the right size now. So look at how that would look. Yeah. So the wheel came out really nice. But it's not, the axle's not right. So I guess I'm going to have to. I'm just going to have to glue it, I guess. So I could put one of these in here and glue it, and that'll work. And this axle's the right size. So yeah, just like that. So, yeah, that would be perfect. So I guess I could keep printing them and then cut them apart, and I don't know. We'll have I'm not going to do it tonight, though. Yeah, that's the best caliper rotor. It's not perfect, but it's the best one I've had yet. I cannot understand how that got off center. That doesn't make any sense. That's just nuts. Is that axle the right size? Will it fit in the hole? No, it's a little too big. Well, it will fit. It's tight. Very, very tight. All right, so I'm going to make a new file. I'm not doing it tonight. I'm going in. It's getting too cold. I'm going to go in, but so I know I'm really close, though. I can make the file just a squeak smaller than this and resave it, and then maybe it'll print that in the center. I don't know why it did that. That's hilarious. I don't know how the hell it did that. That's crazy. Oh well. This more of the fun of 3D printing, guys. Shit like this happens. You just have to deal with it. That's funny. Oh, is that right, Craig? See, that in Florida, it's totally different. My houses, my property taxes are way undervalued what the house is worth. Way undervalued, which is a good thing for me. But yeah, I'll sell it probably for twice what they have it valued at. So yeah, it's a good thing we have RC to keep our sanity. All right, what time is it? Let me look here. It's 12:10. Yeah, we're gonna call it, guys. It's just too cold out here. I can't even begin to tell you how freaking cold it is out here. So, but I'm glad you guys came. We had fun. I'm glad. I saw you love it when you guys come. It's really a blast. We have such a good time. And you got to see a little 3D printing, although you can't actually watch it because even if I put a camera with you can't see through the glass. It's tinted. But you got to see the end result, and that's definitely the best looking wheel. The spokes and everything, it's beautiful. Man, that is by far the best wheel I've printed. So that's fantastic. So now we just got to figure out how to keep it together. I guess what I could do is put a bead of glue in it, like CA, before I start tearing off the support to make sure it stays together. That might be what I have to do. So we might try that. But the size-wise, we're really close. I mean, I'm only going to change it a couple of thousandths. Well, like a millimeter, and then save it again. So hopefully, if the file's corrupt, that put this offset, it should fix it, and then it'll print straight. So I'll. Yeah, you know what it did. That's interesting too. It didn't print the whole solid thing like it was doing here. It printed like I thought it would, just a ring, because that's all it needed to print. It didn't need to do this full thing. I don't know what the hell it was printing all that for. It doesn't need all that. So anyway, all right, guys, that's gonna do it. I'm getting out of here. It's too cold. But yeah, I at least I accomplished this. That's good. So maybe I'll come out and try printing tomorrow when it warms up a little bit. Probably not. I'm probably gonna stay in the house tomorrow. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. You guys all have a great night. Thanks for coming. I'll see you for sure next week, I guess. I'm so far I don't have any reason not to be here Saturday night. So I can't imagine I won't be here, but you never know. But you all take care, and we'll catch you the next live Saturday night. All right. All right, guys. Good night.